Mentality of a business trip, the Rangers were all business. And now their off-day shopping spree in D.C. should include some brooms. Rangers rewriting recent history and for the first time in a long time on the verge of a sweep after a 3-1 win in Washington in Game 3. Inside our Delta MSG studios, John Giannone, Henrik Lundqvist, and Steve Valiquette. How long has it been since the Rangers have swept the series?
Yeah, we were talking about this off camera. I think it was back in 07 against Atlanta.
They don't even exist anymore.
No, that's how long ago
exactly.
it is.
I feel good about that.
I was on that team.
Hey,
showed up for one.
Henrik, what impressed you most about 3-1 tonight?
Special teams. Penalty kill, outstanding. You know, they took maybe a couple too many penalties, but the way they were playing on the PK was just outstanding. And obviously a huge part of that was Igor Shesterkin. He just got better and better as the game went on. Second period, some big saves. Third period, huge. So all in all, a great road game. I thought they played pretty tight in their own end. They didn't force any plays. In the third, obviously, Washington pushed a lot and had a lot of great opportunities. But I think it's a good feeling, too, for Igor, you know, to come in and play a huge part. He wasn't a huge part in the first two games, but tonight he was.
27 saves for Shesterkin, nearly half of those in the third period where the Rangers were outshot 13-4.
Well, that was Vezina Shesterkin. That's what he looks like when he's at his best. So that's his bar. And I thought he was going to have to steal a game in Washington before the game began. And it did have that feel leaving it. That save on Pacioretty is one of his best of the season. The read on Lapierre, that was a great read. He charged on Ovechkin here and used his shoulder. So he was playing aggressive when he had to close. And we oftentimes say it's ABCs of goaltending, always be closing. I thought he had that look to him, so he was on his toes. And another big save in the third period, wide opens Wilson. That's a great tracking save, low blocker, and he goes for it. And if not for Ovechkin reaching up, that one had a chance. It looked like it was online. Look, at the end of the day, .864 save percentage in the series for Lindgren and a .932 save percentage for Shesterkin over 3 games. That's been a big piece of the difference. We've been talking a lot about the special teams, but a big piece has been the goaltending.
Yeah, and obviously it must be very frustrating for Washington on their power play. They have 6 opportunities on the power play. They give up a goal on the power play. Just think of that, the mindset when you sit on the bench, you watch your team, you have an opportunity to go on the power play and try to get back in the game, and instead you give up a goal. Yeah. You're actually minus on your power play. I mean, that's going to be hard to win any hockey game if that's the case. But a lot of credit to the Rangers, how they played. We always talk about why they're so good, because they play as a unit. They play together they read off of each other so well, and that's why it's so hard for Washington to create big chances.
Yeah, Steve, Washington has 15 power plays so far in the 3 games. The Caps have 2 goals. In those same situations, the Rangers have 2 goals on the Caps' 15 power plays. What's been so dominant?
Well, I just think that you shut Ovechkin down and let the other guys play 4 versus 3. That's all that's happening out here. You take away him, and then the rest is really not for much because they don't have the talent. They're not deep enough. They weren't able to get into their setup in this game. There were stretches in the second period. You just couldn't believe it. The Caps were just fumbling it around. It wasn't an NHL quality power play, especially for one that was first from the All-Star break through the end of the season in power play percentage, which is hard to believe watching this, but they're all so tight too because they're pressing. But when you need a goal and you're down 2-1 and then later on in the third period 3-1, they just weren't bringing it, guys. And I want to give the Rangers a lot of credit because they were structurally sound, they were pressing the right people, but I thought just taking away Ovechkin, not giving the options. This is a game where Ovechkin has 3 shots. He has 3 shots on goal in the game. This is definitely one of those disappointing moments. And Ovi's back on the 2-on-1 for Gaudreau's goal. And you can see his stick there, fellas. Like, it's one thing to recognize it's Ovechkin back and you're going to try and take him to task, but he just brings his stick and he was nonchalant. And especially after Game 2, what Spencer Carberry, the head coach of Washington, said in the press about Ovi pressing a little bit, struggling. I thought we were going to get vintage Ovi in this game. We didn't see it.
I just can't see who's the quarterback on their power play. The Rangers, they can use 3 guys as a quarterback. You have Fox, Panarin, and Mika. But for Washington, who is the quarterback? Who is running that part?
Supposed to be John Carlson, but he can't pass to Ovi, so he doesn't have a play.
I feel like they were all over the place in this game, and that's why they came up short.
And as Joe Micheletti said, that was the best power play in the NHL since the All-Star break. Rangers have controlled them, and let the record show the game-winning goal tonight was scored by Barclay Goodrow while shorthanded 8 minutes into the first period. In a season where so much went so right for the Rangers, one of the things that was talked about among the fan base was the relative lack of contribution from Barclay Goodrow. He has 2 goals now in this postseason in 3 games, and he continues to contribute in areas both on the scoreboard and beyond. How important is a player like that at this time of year?
Yeah, especially in a game like tonight where, yeah, the stars shine a little bit, but it becomes a team game. So the role players, they play an even a bigger role in a game like tonight, and being physical and doing all the little things right. And it's just great to see him get rewarded as well, because obviously there's a lot of attention on the top guys always, but there's a lot of guys that are doing the little things behind the scene. Maybe they're not getting enough credit. And of course, you look at the stats sometimes. Yeah, you want to see more goals, but there's so many good things they're doing outside of scoring. So it's great to see when role players get rewarded for hard work and doing a lot of good things.
And all in support of a goaltender who wins his 3rd straight in this postseason. The Broadway Hattie's always talking about the appreciation he has for those in front of him.
Well, it's a huge part for any goalie. When you have success, you need the guys in front of you to help you block shots. And it's teamwork. Even though you come up with the save as a goalie, you need your guys in front of you to help you see pucks. And it's kind of like a system. When you see a guy come down the wing, who's doing what? Well, the goalie's going to stop the puck, but you need the defenseman to block the guy. And when you feel that support and trust, it's a lot easier for the goalie to really lock in on the shooter. And watching the clips on Igor tonight, I felt like he played an East-West game. He didn't challenge a lot. It was one save. He really came out. He read the situation perfectly. But other than that, he pretty much played East-West, and that, I think, allowed him to be in control on a lot of these broken plays right in front.
You know what I think's interesting is a guy like Igor that's put in so many deposits into the goaltending bank and trust with the team. He gives up a bad first goal. Call it what it is. Hank didn't think it was bad. I thought it was bad. He's allowed more bad goals than I have. So he's got more experience.
It was not great,
but no, so I don't like the goal. Look, nobody likes the goal, but how about them responding 34 seconds later? If Igor had a reputation for giving up bad goals, it sinks the bench because they're saying, oh, here we go again. But they answer 34 seconds later, which says all that did was ignite the bench, saying, hey, this guy's had our back for 5 years. Let's go, boys. And the next line over the bench scores. And you're saying, you know what, that's a team. That's a team. That was, I really like that.
Yeah, that's the impressive part. The Rangers have given up the first goal in 2 of the 3 games in this series, but out of 180 minutes, they've trailed for all of 3 minutes and 21 seconds. So the quick responses have certainly been an important part of what we've seen. So too, Steve has the power play. Yep. 2 power play goals in game 2, 1 more tonight, and that too has made a difference.
I think the experience helps, John, because when you have a lot of experience with the same personnel, you can start adding wrinkles. And a wrinkle to me is a switch. So everybody knows their position, but now they know each other's position better and what looks, what outlets, where they can be. And the switches help that because it really confuses Washington with where their assignments are. So why are the Rangers gathering all these high danger chances and scoring on their power play? It's because, to me, of the switches. They've just been able to play as a 5-man and play free, and you can see it on the entry right now. There's going to be a switch in the corner. Fox is where he's supposed to be at this moment. Panarin's on the other side. But this is the switch right here that's key for me because Trocheck gets lost in coverage. Zibanejad runs a scissor switch here, and Trocheck's able to find himself and get inside. And he gets lost. Nobody on Washington knows where he is when he comes in behind the bumper here, in which is also his position, but Kreider jumps into it. And now this is a free look from the slot area. From behind the net to the slot, it's a grade A scoring chance. It's a high danger chance. That chance goes in 1 every 3 times. The goalie's down early, and that's something Hank and I talk about all the time. He should be up there.
Yes.
But good recognition from the players to know that he's down. He can't come out and charge. He can't skate. So he gets stuck. Lindgren gets stuck on the goal line, and Trocheck frees up.
And Trocheck, he talked about movement and how it was not something they really went over in practice. It just happened, that play. But their IQ level is so high. They read the play so well, and the movement allows it to happen. And we talked earlier about demanding. It's so obvious that that pass should come there because he's wide open. He's looking for that open spot and demands it, gets it, goal. So just the way they demand plays on their power plays is pretty impressive.
It's almost they're like saying to themselves, well, this is where I would be, so he's going to be there. And that's why they can switch up positions like that now.